Good evening. Those that would like to stand and join us in the Lord's Prayer and Pledge Allegiance, please do.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and glory forever. Amen. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is the legislative session 2017-03 for the Wicomico County Council, February 7th, 2017. Calling the meeting to order, entertain the first item on the agenda. That would be to approve the legislative minutes from January 17th, 2017, which was the open work session minutes in reference to the topics for the General Assembly.
So moved.
Second. Any corrections, changes? No. Seeing none. All those in favor of the legislative minutes from January 17th, 2017, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Minutes are approved. Entertain a motion to approve the open work session minutes in reference to the fiscal year 2016 audit.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any corrections? Seeing none. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. I think I skipped one. Entertain a motion to approve the legislative minutes from January 17th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any corrections? Seeing none. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is approved. Minutes are approved. Entertain a motion to approve the open work session minutes for Economic Scholarship Program from January 17th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any corrections? Seeing none. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Minutes are approved. Entertain a motion to approve the open work session minutes from council priorities of January 17th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any corrections? Seeing none. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Minutes are approved. Ms. Hurley, before we go into your session, we have a few scouts that, if you could stand, we have a couple of scouts that are here earning badges for their progress. Glad to have you here. Thank you. Mrs. Hurley.
Okay, good evening, Mr. President, County Council members, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. President, before we begin, I'd like to confirm the action of Resolution Number 04, 2017, that was discussed at the last council meeting. This resolution pertains to a loan from the Department of Commerce to Toroyd P&H LLC. The legislative minutes do not actually reflect a motion.
Okay.
So would it be proper to ask for a motion at this meeting?
All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution number 04, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The first item on the agenda this evening is Resolution Number 07, 2017, confirming the appointment of Dallas Baker, P.E., as Director for the Department of Public Works.
Entertain a motion to approve resolution 07, 2017.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Mr. Baker? Anybody have questions or anything to that effect?
I'll be up here the rest of the night. So.
You might as well just get comfortable. If you could, for the public, just let us know who you are. And
Sure. Wayne Strasburg, Director of Administration.
Dallas Baker.
yes, sir. All right. Pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Any questions for council as far as Mr. Baker is concerned?
I'll make a statement. I've been acquainted with Mr. Baker. We've been working on the Pittsville project previously, and found him to be very good to work with. Thank you.
Could Mr. Strasburg just kind of explain, for the public, the fact that there's an opening in Department of Public Works and who Mr. Baker is? I mean, we've all read his resume, and he's an outstanding candidate for the job, I think, but the public may not be aware of who he is.
It would probably be better if Mr. Baker spoke about who he is and what his background is. He'll be far more accurate than I will.
This is how it works up here, Mr. Baker.
I understand delegation.
We keep passing the buck around. Sooner to be over with. So.
Like I said, my name's Dallas Baker. I have a degree in civil engineering from Virginia Tech. I graduated from there in 2000, came over to the shore. Shortly thereafter, spent 4 years working with Davis, Bone, and Friedel, a firm here in Salisbury. Moved from there to a firm in Georgetown for a few months, Morrison Ritchie, and then came back to Salisbury shortly thereafter. In about 2008, started working for, 2004 I came back, started working for Salisbury Public Works, served as one of their project engineers there. Then when there were some upper management shifts around, got moved up to supervisory civil engineer. Then in around 2010, I believe, 2012, moved over to State Highway Administration to serve as a transportation engineer. Got promoted to transportation engineering manager, and then received another promotion to the assistant district engineer for traffic. So I've had a pretty wide range of experience on the shore, dealing from water and wastewater plants, sewer, storm drains, roads, sidewalks, streetlights, traffic. So just pretty much almost all aspects of public works administration.
Great, yeah. Any other questions from council members? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of Resolution 07, 2017, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried, resolution passes. Great, congratulations.
Thank you all.
Next is Resolution Number 08, 2017, confirming the appointment of Rebecca Webster to the Wicomico County Social Services Advisory Board.
Entertain a motion from council to approve Resolution 08, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any questions, concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor of Resolution 08, 2017, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried, resolution passes.
Next, we have Resolution Number 09, 2017, confirming the appointment of Dawn Beach as the General Manager for the Salisbury, Ocean City, Wicomico Regional Airport.
Entertain a motion from council to approve Resolution 09, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Ms. Veach. Good evening, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
Pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Read a lot about you.
Oh,
It's all good.
don't believe what you
It was all good. If you could, as we suggested earlier, Mr. Strasburg, maybe you'd like to explain a few details as far as Ms. Veach and her qualifications. That's a lead for you to now tell.
That's a lead for me to hand off to Dawn, but I will say this. We, as with Dallas, we did a very, very broad search, had a lot of applicants, and in both cases, both Mr. Baker's and Dawn's case, are very, very pleased that we have two very well qualified people. Dawn's experience is just very, very, very impressive, and I'll have her give you the Reader's Digest version of what she has accomplished in the airline industry. It's truly impressive, and we're very, very fortunate to have her on board.
Please.
Thank you. Basically, just to kind of make what's relevant to Salisbury, I've got 36 years with the federal government, and the FAA was in Flight Standards Division. I was a division manager, which is a senior executive position. I spent about 25 years of that in Southern Region, growing the community there in aviation. When I moved into international, I spent about 12 years in the international arena with FAA, and that whole program was to do nothing but to grow economics and community development through aviation in South America, Central America, the Caribbean, and even in Canada, through public-private partnerships and through regulatory advances, as well as bringing in new technologies from the United States. And that's not unlike this community here of what I can bring to the table to help this community grow in its aviation community. And that's what brought me the interest into this position. I've been working with the Salisbury Airport for about a year in my past position over at AOPA, which is Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association. They're the largest pilot organization. They have 400,000 members, and AOPA lobbies for their best interest in keeping general aviation and aviation growing and bringing in the next generation of pilots and mechanics and technicians into the community, because there's such a huge deficit. And this community has a rich target for that environment with the schools and universities that are here in STEM education in the state of Maryland. So those are all things I'm very interested in growing. And so I'm hoping that it'll be a long-time partnership.
Great.
Thank you.
Any comments from John?
I met Dawn about a year ago with the AOPA, and I, of course, never considered her for the search until we needed a search. And when this came up, if I were to pick a candidate anywhere in the region that we could possibly have in this area, it certainly would have been her. So I think we're very fortunate, and I think we're going to have somebody who's going to be a tremendous asset to our community, and I look forward to working with you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Any other comments? Yeah, again, a very impressive resume. As Wayne said, we have two candidates here that have just come up to the table. That it's absolutely incredible how qualified these individuals are. And it's good to see both of you in Wicomico County. We really do look forward to great leadership at the airport. The airport has so much to offer, and we've been saying this for quite a while now as to what the potential is, not only for Wicomico County but the state of Maryland as a whole. And with your leadership that you have, your proven track record of leadership, the fact that you have handled budgets, that you've managed hundreds of employees, we're looking very much forward to what you're going to do. What I also saw in your resume too is you seem to be very innovative as far as your approach to things, and I think that's going to be helpful as well.
Thank you. I've been told many times I don't have a box to stay in, so I don't have to think outside of it. That may be a problem for Wayne.
That's fine with us. Give Wayne all kinds of problems. That's fine. So,
Her flexibility is demonstrated by the fact that she's known John for over a year and she still accepted the position.
It's a tremendous opportunity.
I didn't hear that, Wayne. Any other comments? All right. Seeing none, all those in favor of Resolution 09, 2017, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Resolution passes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Look forward to it.
The next item for business is Resolution Number 10, 2017, making a supplemental appropriation from contingency to the Wicomico County Circuit Court in the amount of $34,983. The fire alarm panel in the Circuit Court building is not working and it cannot be repaired, so Circuit Court is asking for funding to replace the fire alarm system.
Entertain a motion to approve Resolution 10, 2017.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
How long is this, have we had this fire alarm system?
How long has that fire panel been in the building? I think, John, it's probably the original fire panel. We're not quite sure, quite frankly, when the boards in the panel were essentially fried, but it's beyond redemption. It has to be replaced. We approach this from the standpoint of an emergency bid process. We solicited bid first from Simplex Grinnell, and that bid was the basis of the figure that you see in the request for appropriation. We then spoke with Alarm Engineering, which is a local company that you're probably familiar with. We also spoke with Delmarva Time and Control, that's another local company. I'm happy to report that Alarm Engineering has presented us with a bid that is lower than the transfer that we requested. It's $28,866.11. And we have awarded the bid to Alarm Engineering, subject, of course, to council's appropriation of the funds that are required.
One of the statements was that we're not sure how long the alarm system's been out. Does that mean it could have been out for months? We don't have anybody
could-
we don't have anybody checking on it, or they should be checking on
Well, which question would you like me to answer first?
it? Okay. Number two.
Number two.
Right.
There was a trouble light, and without going into a lot of detail, there was a trouble light on the panel that was showing that there was some issue with the panel, but it was still functional. Simplex Grinnell was providing Kevin Wright, our fire marshal, with what he refers to as clean reports, that it was still a functional panel and alarm system. I cannot say this with certainty, but I suspect you recall that we had a power outage that was associated with the work that was being done at the base of Main Street, and we lost some equipment in the State's Attorney's Office. I believe that when that surge came back up, that's probably when we lost those boards on that panel, but, you know, that
So it was a false rating?
that's conjecture.
False rating?
That's conjecture. Yeah, and Kevin Wright is backtracking that and discussing that with Simplex Grinnell, because it's, of course, disconcerting to be getting quote-unquote clean reports when there was apparently an issue with the panel, so we're backtracking that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
So
Use your mic, Joe.
we're asking for a transfer of 34,000. You said their bid was 28. Why are we?
Well, I didn't come back and amend, I mean, the endorsement was already over here by the time that we got this subsequent bid. If council wants to amend this and appropriate the lower amount, you know, that's certainly acceptable. I would say that you may want to appropriate somewhat more than the 28,000, just in the case of incidentals, because Alarm Engineering is going to be replacing also the alarms around the building, not just the panel, but they're going to be wiring new sensors around the building.
So you haven't gotten a bid on that, or what the total cost is going to be?
The only incidental cost, Joe, would be as they run run to the installation of the new sensors, that there may be some work that needs to be done, repair work that might have to be done with things that are above the ceiling. So it would be incidental.
So what was the total on Alarm Engineering's bid?
Alarm Engineering was 28,000, I have it right here, 28,866.
So we're talking $5,000–6,000 difference. How does the council feel about amending it to 30,000 or leave it alone?
You can certainly propose the amendment, Joe, and we'll get a second if you want.
Well, I'll propose we amend it to $30,000.
A motion to amend the resolution to $30,000. Is there a second?
Second?
There's a second. Discussion?
That will leave you enough room to.
That's acceptable, that's fine.
Good. Okay. All those in favor of the amendment, say aye. Opposed? Motion's carried. Resolution has been amended. Thank you, Councilman Holloway. Any other discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll take a vote. All those in favor of Resolution 10, 2017 as amended, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion's carried. Resolution passes.
The next item for business is Resolution Number 11, 2017, to make a supplemental appropriation from contingency to the Warwick operating account in the amount of $212,400. Warwick Community College has a budget shortfall due to lower enrollment and an increase in costs for self-funded medical benefits, and is requesting funding to cover operating expenses.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to approve Resolution 11, 2017. Second.
Second.
Under discussion, Dr. Hoy, I know you are here. Yeah, there you are.
Wayne was doing such a good job, I just thought I'd stay hidden.
All right. If you could just give us a brief
Give you an overview of what's
Yes,
going on.
Certainly.
There's two issues. The first, well, I don't know which one's first. There's two issues. One has to do with enrollment. All community colleges across the country, the average reduction in enrollment since the recession has been about 9%. We actually grew last year 2.4%. We're one of 8 community colleges in Maryland that actually gets more money in the 2018 governor's budget. It's only about $48,000, somewhere in that range. But at least we got something. This year, no community college has had any growth, and we're no exception this year. Interestingly, as we look at our enrollment, we are seeing an increase in students under the age of 22. We see an increase in students between 22 and 27, and students between 27 and 38 just walked away from us. Now, that's kind of consistent with what's going on. When the recession ended, jobs became available, and those are the people who were the first ones to get the jobs. The other thing that has exacerbated the problem with us, however, is even the younger students in the youngest age group, what we call the 18 to 22-year-old age group, that group and the next group, which is 22 to 26-year-old, even though we have increased enrollment from those two groups, we have decreased numbers of students who are coming to school full-time. They're coming to school part-time. Now, I can't tell you if that's indicative to them working as well or if it's a financial concern, but we've had significant growth in part-time students among that group, those age brackets, but a loss in full-time students, and of course that reduces our tuition receipts because we're paid on a per credit hour basis from students. So we're seeing a shortfall this year of about $700,000. Actually, when I wrote the letter, I said it's probably going to be $600,000, but spring semester even fared worse than we had anticipated, so it's closer to $700,000. Honestly, we would have been able to manage that with the number of steps that we've taken, but at the same time, we've seen a problem in our self-funded medical plan to the tune of about $600,000. Now, this started last March, and the way the medical plans operate, we pay in arrears, we start seeing this stuff. We'd already submitted our budget for 2018, and you look at some of these things and you say, okay, is this a spike? Is this a one-time thing? What's going to happen? It's not a spike. It seems to be a trend. We've worked with our consultants talking about what's going on and looking at a number of different things. One of the factors is that we have an aging workforce at Warwick. In fact, the average age is 51 point something. I can't remember what the digit is. It's 8 years older than the national average. In the first 5-6 months of this year, out of 444 covered lives, 70 are over age 60, and those 70 individuals, maybe not individually, but that group over age 60, has spent over 50% of our costs this year. So that's not atypical that older adults spend more money in the healthcare expense, but it's a very large percent. And again, we've got a growing percentage of older individuals. It has to do with we keep losing the younger people. We're retaining some of the older people. It has to do with our salary structure and that sort of thing, which I hope to correct in next year's budget. So between those two factors, we have taken a number of measures to try to deal with the increased costs, and I outlined them in a letter that I put forward. I hope you had a copy of it. But we've frozen positions. Now, we haven't frozen every position. We've strategically frozen positions, meaning we have a lot of one-offs where there's only one person to do a particular job, and in those cases, we've said we've got to refill that unless we can find somebody in-house to transition into that. But what happens with that particular role? There are some positions that, if it's a teaching position, we're just going to have to fill that if we have students in those classes. We implemented a traveling freeze except for required travel. I'll give you two examples of required travel. We have affinity groups for the different divisions of the college, where we meet with our colleague institutions, and especially during legislative session, where we have to be responding to the legislature on any number of issues. They work as a group, so we certainly want our people to be part of that. Another thing is for IT. We want our IT people to be trained on the software that we have, or the software doesn't work for us. So for those types of things, we're allowing it to continue, but all other travel has been ceased. We requested a college-wide budget reduction. Essentially what we did was ask all cost center managers to review their budgets and tell us what they haven't spent and don't need as they look prospectively through the end of the year. We brought money back from that. We eliminated the plan to contract with the Wicomico Sheriff's Department for a full-time deputy presence on campus, which was planned to begin in January. That was $100,000 that we were spending there. And in November, started to talk to the board about making these types of decisions, and they agreed with the recommendation that came up from the college in terms of how we were going to deal with these things. Another thing that we did was, and it's really not going to be an immediate cost savings, but we've eliminated 14 credit program options. Some have been consolidated into other program areas, but it's not going to have an immediate impact on some of these things. And we asked the board to reallocate $100,000 from our technology endowment to current year expenses that we would have filled out of the operating budget for technology related purchases, such as databases for library services and those sorts of things. We've moved that into the budget to try to offset. So we feel as though we can deal with $700,000 of this shortfall, but we can't deal with the additional $600,000 expense that we're going to have in the medical line, and we can't make mid-year changes to it. Because you have to give notice, 3 months notice, and those sorts of things. By the time we figured it out, the year's over. It's not going to have any impact. But prospectively, we're examining the plan. We've already started working with the consultants to say, how are we going to save money next year? What changes can we make? And we saw some things that we can possibly do. So this request in the resolution is for $212,400 from your contingency. We actually need $424,800. That is, of the $600,000, Wicomico's share is 70.8%. That's the 5-year rolling average of enrollment between Wicomico and Worcester County. Worcester County this morning agreed to fund their share, $175,200. So I had offered up the fact that we have a reserve in Wicomico and Worcester's name, and within that reserve, there's $482,621 currently. The $212,400 that we would have to take from the reserve to cover the other half of this would draw that balance down to $270,221. So that's kind of in a nutshell. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Okay. Any questions?
How is this going to affect next year's budget? I mean, I know you're starting to plan now, obviously, and things like that, but I mean, is this a one-time thing, or do you think this is going to be built in for budgets coming forward? Or?
It's going to be built into the budget, and then there's a third piece to this shoe that I'll be sharing with you when we go through that, but, you know, I know what the budget looks like at this point. I mean, we know we have a $1.2 million shortfall in next year's budget. We've got a medical problem. We're going to try to draw that down to some extent, but we also have an enrollment issue that's not going to be fixed next year, and the fact that we're eliminating 14 programs, we're going to have to retain some faculty because the people who are in those programs currently, we have to have a process for them to be able to complete those programs. So again, it's not an immediate savings in those areas. So we've got a $1.2 million, 1.3 hole today that projects forward to some extent. And then we really do need to deal with the compensation issue at the college. We had a compensation study completed, and it's about a $500,000 issue. So going into next year's budget with no inflationary increases or anything else, we're talking about a $1.7 million issue. And as I mentioned, the state's given us about $48,000 more, and we're not going to see any tuition dollars for enrollment. The governor has asked us to limit, the governor has told higher education to hold tuition increases to 2%. Now, he is giving us some money for that, but it really equates to a little more than 1%. It's $104,000 next year is the projected dollar to offset that. And we typically budget about $105,000 per $1 increase in tuition. So we can't push the students to make these payments to make up this. So we're going to see a budget increase.
Well, isn't part of your compensation issue too, that your compensation structure kind of attracts older employees and disincentivizes younger employees, so that kind of skews your healthcare system, so I mean.
Well, it does.
yeah.
It's a compounding problem, and, you know, I've shared for years that we're not competitive with the public school system in all three of our Lower Shore counties in hiring entry-level instructors. Our entry-level instructors require a master's degree and 2 years of experience. The public schools, it's a bachelor's degree, and our starting salary is about $8,000 to $9,000 lower than the three Lower Shore public schools' starting salary for the baccalaureate level position. So when the compensation study came back, to no one's surprise, the first thing they said is, at your entry-level positions, we've got a real movement that has to take place here. And it's not an easy fix because it rolls through the organizations in all grades. When you bring up the bottom, you have to move other people. You can't overlap them or pass people who are further up. So that is the issue, and that's what's causing us to have an aged workforce, I'm convinced.
Careful about the age thing.
Well, I represent that.
You mentioned Worcester putting in an amount. Did you request any from Somerset?
Somerset is not a support county of the college. We can't go to them. They pay half of the out-of-county tuition rate for Somerset residents who attend the college, and the state pays the other half for their residents.
I knew they were involved some way.
Yeah, they're the only county, they're the only jurisdiction in Maryland that does not have its own community college, and there's special legislation for them that allows their citizens to attend college in a contiguous community. That would be Warwick. But I used to work at Chesapeake College, and when I was a newly minted attorney, I wrote a low tide theory. And it actually, it was endorsed by the executive director of Maryland State Board of Community Colleges, so much to my chagrin today. Students from Somerset County can also attend Chesapeake College and pay in-county tuition rates, and the county has to pay half of the out-of-county as well. At low tide, Taylor Island, Smith Island are contiguous.
Well, you said you've done your studies about compensation. How about as far as tuition goes? Do you anticipate any increases in tuition?
Well, we can't next year. We can have to hold it to 2%. Yeah, but
do
we
you
would have.
anticipate doing that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and it's still, we're still going to have a shortfall in the tuition line compared to with this year.
Right.
Yeah, and we would have had a higher increase in that, even though we have some of the most economically disadvantaged students in the state. We have among the lowest tuition rates as well.
I
Any other
think this
questions?
insurance thing's for everybody.
Oh, it's brutal.
Councilman Hall?
Confusion factor, Dr. Hoy. Shortfalls, 1.2 million or 1.7 million?
Well, this year 1.2, next year,
This year, 1 point.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're using money out of your contingencies for this year, then quite.
but no,
to quite an
we're,
extent,
we're actually, well, the endowment monies that we would have spent to purchase new computers next year, obviously I asked the board to pick up 100,000 there. The remaining balance of that 700, now 600, with that 100,000 is, we took out the police officers on campus, that's another 100, and then all the different budget cuts we've done across campus, holding positions and all those sorts of things, asking people to ante up what's they don't need, what's has not been expensed and not needed. All those things we're able to call together about the 500,000 at that point.
I'm looking forward to your creative budget next year.
I'm sure.
I think that's an important point. To circle back, the total need is 424.8. What we're proposing tonight is that we fund half of that need from contingency. We might have suggested that we fund more of that from contingency, but it's a bit early in the year to get aggressive with the contingency fund. From a cash flow standpoint, Dr. Hoy indicated that the 212.4 would see him through until May. We would probably revisit this in May, and dependent upon what the county's contingency fund looks like in May, we may come back and propose that we do a further transfer from the general fund contingency so as to leave more of the reserve fund in place. That reserve fund was at one point in time, How much?
Well, it's the total reserve, and it should be a 70-30 ratio.
Right.
The total reserve this year would be, it's at 6%, which was decided many, many years ago. It should be 1.4 million. The actual amount is about, well, it started the year 1.4. But Worcester County has 876,000, almost 877,000 of the reserve. Wicomico's share is 482,621. The reason for that is Wicomico used the monies from the reserve to pay for a capital construction project, the Jordan Center, when that was expanded, to do the local match. Instead of bonding the money, you asked us to take it out of the reserve, which we did at that time. So it reduced that, and even though monies go back in on that 70-30 ratio, there hasn't been any money to put back in because we haven't had revenues in excess of budget in the last several years. It's been tight times.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor of Resolution 11, 2017, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried, resolution passes.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Dr. Hoy.
The next item on the agenda is Resolution Number 12, 2017, to accept unanticipated revenue in the amount of $25,000 for an insurance deductible paid out in fiscal year 16 that was reimbursed by the local government insurance trust, and to appropriate the money to the undesignated fund balance. The Department of Corrections paid a insurance deductible in 2016 on a claim relating to a new chiller that failed as a result of improper installation and startup. The county's insurance company was able to recover that deductible and refunded the money to the county this fiscal year.
Entertain a motion to approve Resolution 12, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. George?
Roy did a great job telling you what it was. I just have George Calaramakis, Department of Corrections. What we give freely, I think there's a biblical reference, we get back 100-fold. So I'm hoping. Yeah, this is the result of actually litigation by Legit against the company that installed to reclaim the loss. So we're happy it was settled that way, and all funds have been returned to the county, and we have a new chiller that's operating and, as far as we know, installed properly.
Good. Any questions from council? Seeing none. All those in favor of Resolution 12, 2017, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried, resolution passes. Good seeing you.
Next, we have Resolution Number 13, 2017, to make an appropriation of funds to the Department of Recreation, Parks, and Tourism from unanticipated revenue in the amount of $101,315.22. The Department of Recreation, Parks, and Tourism received unanticipated revenue from the local government insurance trust for an insurance claim relating to flood damage at the Youth and Civic Center. The claim included the replacement of the floor tile in the main lobby of the Civic Center, but the mosaic tile is no longer available, so it will be replaced with carpet.
Okay, thank you. Entertain a motion to approve Resolution 13, 2017. Second?
Second.
Discussion. Good evening, how are you?
Good
If you could
evening.
tell the public. Yes.
Pam Olin, sorry, Deputy Director at Rec Parks and Tourism. When the flood happened in spring of, I guess it was 2015 now?
So,
It's, yeah, 2015. We ended up with water, as most of you are aware, over most of the lobby, in the box office, in a lot of areas, and the mosaic tile floor that had the WICC symbol was made out of 1-inch tiles, and those tiles were no longer available to us. And as we were drying out that area, the tiles just started popping up. We could, just take your finger and, or walk across them, and they would come up. And so we had Legit come out. They brought somebody and we brought somebody, and they gave us an estimate as to how much it would cost to replace it with a mosaic tile floor. and that is where the $100,000 comes from. Legit did a settlement on the fact that you try to replace in kind, and that's what the $100,000 is. Well, we have made a decision that we are not replacing with tile. If you've been over, we've actually removed all the tile in all of the first floor area at the Civic Center and installing a carpet product. And so we're asking for these funds to actually be put in the project to allow us to help pay for that carpet product in the Civic Center renovation.
Okay. Questions? Did you? Okay. I guess I understand that. The only thing that comes to mind, and I'm not micromanaging what you all do, in situations where you replace tile with carpet, you know you're going to have additional costs almost within just a few years. I guess that's being anticipated.
This carpet product is actually called Tandis, and it has a 20-year warranty on the product. So we're not replacing with something that, you know, you and I would go buy at the local hardware store.
I might now.
It's got a good reputation. It's actually in a lot of universities. It's in airports. It's a product that's intended to take high traffic.
Okay.
And so the other, besides the aesthetics of the look that we were going for, it also provides the ability, if you've ever been at the Civic Center when an event was being held in one of the rooms and a cart was going by,
Oh, yeah.
it very, very loud.
Yeah.
Because of the wheels going across the tile floor. And so the carpet is actually going to make our meeting spaces much more user-friendly for those that are in those spaces, and we're having to move stuff around the Civic Center.
Yeah.
This is the same carpet that is installed at the Ocean City Convention Center. It's a very
Durable.
very, very durable carpet. Very durable.
John?
Pam, this is in agreement with the master plan that's being done with the Civic Center as far as the upgrade goes
Yes.
also?
Yeah.
So it's actually part of the upgrade of the Civic Center?
Yes, and so what we're asking is for this to be added to that project so that the funds that came from the flood that kind of kick-started us getting this renovation going again can go in the project and be used towards the project costs.
What's the time frame on the carpet?
All the carpet has actually been ordered, and it's in stock. We are waiting, if you've been over to the Da Nang side of the building, we've already installed the new carpet over there. We have a wall product that's going on first, and it's kind of a stucco type process where they're taking sort of mud and going over all of the cinder block. Well, it's not a very clean process to do that, and we don't want to put the carpet in before we put that in. When they were doing the Da Nang side, we waited till that was done, and we're very glad we did, because even though they were very careful and they put plastic down, that stuff flew. And so we're doing walls first. We're actually in the process right now of contracting to do the walls on the Flanders and lobby side. And when that part is done, we won't be waiting for the mill. The product is already in-house, waiting for our contractor to install it.
Great. Any other questions? Seeing none. All those in favor of Resolution 13, 2017, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Resolution passes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Pam.
Next, we have Resolution Number 14, 2017, approving the capital program for Wicomico County for fiscal years 2018 through 2022. The CIP actually was before council in a work session as well as a public hearing, and now it is before council for final approval.
Okay. Entertain a motion to approve Resolution 14, 2017.
So moved.
Second? Second. Any questions, comments?
I have a question for Wayne about, I think you've been in contact with Andrea from the library about,
Yes.
I guess they had a need arise about talking about some projects in this capital budget for next year, as well as the one that's approved for this year, and about possibly
Yes, we've worked through
swapping to, okay, so I just
we've
wanted
worked
to,
through that.
okay.
Yep.
So, okay, just want to make sure everything was good before, you know, 'cause making changes, before we approve. Okay,
Yeah, we got state approval to
kind of,
basically transpose those two
Yeah.
projects, so we're underway with that.
all right, yeah.
So
for
we're
the-
squared on
all
that.
right, So the state grant's good. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, all those in favor of Resolution 14, 2017, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried, resolution passes.
Next, we have Resolution Number 15, 2017, to approve a cash advance of funds to the Board of Education of Wicomico County's accounts receivable number 01C05103084 in an amount up to $6,473,000, and to authorize the county executive to execute an intergovernmental agreement on behalf of Wicomico County, Maryland, with the Board of Education. And we have Mr. Bruce Ford here with the Board of Ed if you have questions.
Entertain a motion to approve Resolution 15, 2017. Second.
Second?
Discussion. If we could, Bruce, yeah, thank you. I think the public would probably, if we could, starting with Dawn, if you could let the public know.
Yes. Donna Hanlon, Superintendent of Schools. I just want to thank the council for your ongoing support for our efforts in the school system. I'd also like to thank County Executive Culver for taking the time to work with us on this, to really understand what this timing issue is about, and then to forward it to the council. So Dr. Townsend and Mr. Ford are here to answer any specific questions. I believe we reviewed this with you earlier in a work session, but happy to answer any other questions that you have.
I'm sorry.
Well, just, so for the public, just let everybody know here.
Sure. My
Thanks.
name is Bruce Ford. I'm the comptroller for the Board of Education.
Kathy Townsend, Assistant Superintendent for the Board of Ed.
Thanks. Joe, you have a question?
Wayne, I know the executive's office said they would not advance this money until they had a guarantee from the state that it would be reimbursed. Do we have that?
What this arrangement was based on was the Board of Public Works confirming the, what's it, $5.1 million?
The total's 15 million.
15 million. So there's 15 million, there's 5 million that will be funded
This year.
This July
this
1.
year. The cash flow that Bruce has put forward accommodates the funding as it currently stands. And I think, as we mentioned previously, this is simply a timing issue where the state funding will come in later than what the project needs are. So the county would be advancing, if you will, that state funding. Those advances will be based on essentially AIA construction draw documentation, so that we'll know that the work is done, liens have been released, that type thing. So it's a cash flow timing issue for us, or for the board, not for the county.
So what fund did this come from, 6 million?
The $6 million is just going to come out of the general revenue fund. It'll be forward funded out of general revenue.
The county's working capital, that's correct.
County's working
So
capital.
that won't affect our working capital? Okay,
No, we'll be all right.
okay.
It's only for 7 months.
It's for 7 months.
All right, okay.
It'll be in and out in 7 months.
And this is the maximum amount.
Are we getting
don't anticipate.
pretty good interest from them?
Lots.
Joe, is that an amendment to increase it?
Probably a pretty unpopular thing to do.
I was actually proposing a loan and interest until Bruce informed me that the local boards of education don't have any capacity to borrow, so they cut me off at the pass.
You're thinking, you're on the right path. Any other questions? I know the council has already been well-versed on this matter. And it would be highly unprecedented if the state of Maryland were to back out and leave us in the lurch. I couldn't anticipate that, no matter what the projections might be, so.
We'd have bigger problems than this
Yeah.
if they backed out of this project.
And the Board of Public Works just did approve the 5 million.
Right.
And the 15 million number was on the report that we just reported to Mr. Strasburg.
Very good.
So we're solid.
Good.
We're solid.
Any other questions? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of Resolution 15, 2017, say, 15, 2017, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried, resolution passes.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Good job.
Very good.
Mr. President, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Hurley. All right, at this point in time, I'd like to open the floor, if I could, for public comments. If you have any comments that you would like to make, come to the podium, state your name and address, and whatever concerns you have. All right, seeing none, that concludes the public comments. Council comments? Council comments? No presidential comments tonight. I'd like to entertain a motion from council to adjourn so that we can go into open work session, followed by an administrative closed session.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting's adjourned. Yeah, we'll take a 5-minute recess if we could. Congratulations.